That's it. That should be right there. Good morning, everybody. All right. Alright, what are we doing today? Anybody have any thoughts? Deep or otherwise? Excuse me. I'll look at some comic stuff maybe today. Alright, I'll draw our little model friend up here. Maybe that'll do, right? How's that look? For a pose up there. Good morning. Good morning. I think I'll be working in here. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah, welcome to spring, right? Good morning. I think it's allergy season all of a sudden. Oh yeah, a couple of the books about drawing, or books of his drawings. Oh really? I have to check that out. Let's see. Guess I could write that here. Bart Sears. So I have was a Dave Gibbons book on making comics that I thought was pretty great. On his website. Okay, I didn't know he had a website. I wish what's his face could sell those X-Men Elsewhere books. His name will come to me in a second here. But I think other people have, but why can't I think of his name? Big shot X-Men artist. John Byrne. There we go. Yeah, and then I saw like a while back you can get the Kubert School books for like I think you get all of them for like $100 or something. I should order those. They're like big 11 by 17 format, printed one. What's it called? With spiral bounds or something like that. And it's like the instruction books for the school, the Kubert School. And so that's on their website. Hey, you missed out. The last time I was in here, this guy was explaining to me how he's smarter than AI. So that's why he uses it. I was just like, all right, you have fun with that. Um, yeah, it's like 7 or 8 books or something. I'm great. Aloha over there. Are you over in Hawaii? I am good. I just have a little allergies. Um, yeah, being sick the other week really threw me off my mojo. And then I've been thinking about taxes because I got to do my S corp taxes, which shouldn't take that long to do because I didn't really do any business this much this year. I mean, a little bit from the teaching site, but I haven't really focused on anything outside of that. So. Um, I did, however, I'm almost done with it. I appreciate that. Um, someone's over on the kick side of things, but did work on a. I think this will go out to the subscribers on the site, but also kind of have as a way of letting people know about it. A future project that I want to get up on there, but it's a figure drawing kind of how-to thing that it goes over the process that I teach university students. So it's like it covers the 10 main steps kind of generally, and then that I teach, and then goes over. Has some examples in the back of like more finished drawings. So it's like the one I put in is like it's a demo I did for my students during COVID. So it's all the different steps laid out on layers. I did have to recreate a couple of them. I think I'd accidentally smushed a couple of them down. Oh, appreciate that. Thanks for coming in. Got like a few different people over on Kick popping in to say hello. Yeah, I know art streams aren't the most popular thing, but it's the thing that I do, right? I mean, you could laugh at me playing video games poorly or something. I guess that's always an option. But I don't stream those, so I guess I should plug in my phone. There we go. But I guess I could zoom in up above since I know where I'm going to be working. And bring this down. Bring that up. There we go. Is that better? Yeah. I'm not really that interested in streaming gaming because, again, it's not something I actually spend that much time doing. So, but broke my tip on my pencil. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm a professor at Virginia Commonwealth University. I teach. There is a concept design professor. I teach a lot of drawing, painting, perspective, all of that good stuff. And then I've worked in games and illustration and worked with art galleries and kind of different things over the years. Well, mostly like environmental stuff. I appreciate the follow. Yeah, because I know art streams are tough. I do see a few kind of popular people when I've looked at just to see kind of what people actually look at, but it seems to be a lot of what is it, the VTubers or whatever that's called on online. So I guess I can move that over. That can come up a little bit. Go over. But I see a bunch of those, like drawing manga and etc. But fan art tends to be very popular, and I don't really do fan art. I've got so many things that I want to draw that are mine that, well, I appreciate that. Let's see. So that should be up there. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of who I am over here. Flan art. Yeah, I don't have people problem doing, drawing their favorite stuff. I think that's fine. It's just like never really done it. I haven't done, like I would do that kind of thing when I was younger. Like teenager. Draw the X-Men or Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. But I haven't really thought about doing that in a long time. Other than noticing people, like to do it. But let's see. I guess so. Yeah, just the chat area there. Um, so I'm multi-streaming through OBS, and I'm at my art desk, so I'm not at my computer to kind of see anything too specific. I have like my old MacBook Pro up here on my drafting table over that way. But the computer that's actually running the video, that's why there's a time difference between the video kind of on the right and the one on the left. There's a little bit of a delay because they're streaming to they're set up on different machines. Um, yeah, so and then I have like I found this little app which is partially covered up, so I can't see its name, but it allows me to like multi-stream uh, the chat. That's a Social Stream Ninja. Um, Basically, it streams to it has the chats all go to like one, opens a bunch of browsers, and then they all kind of go to one browser that you set up on your computer on your OBS, and that's kind of what shows up as the chat window, and you can edit it. My old drawing. Well, I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff around here, but try to focus on this at the moment. I do show my students my old drawings, especially if I'm teaching a figure drawing class. I like to bring in the drawings I did as a student and show my students kind of the progress I've made over time. Because I don't think that I started out as like any kind of super genius. I was doing okay, but I wasn't like wasn't no Michelangelo. Well, I guess his birthday was yesterday. Um, so I'm messing up this foot. One of the things I have been working on lately is that's what kind of these morning activities are for, is morning study projects, and so so I've gone through a number of books and things like that in the morning, and so the current one though is me working on kind of drawing more invented figures. So I'm pretty good at figure drawing, like drawing from the life model or photos and things like that. But I want to work more on kind of invented poses. Thinking about doing a comic project based off of a concept portfolio refresh I've been working on for a while. A little world building act project that's taken way too long. Oh yeah, I didn't know he and Michelangelo had this. At least I saw people talking about it yesterday. It might have been the day before. I think it was yesterday though. Yeah, the orange is nice because it works well on the brown paper, and then I like to go over it with pencil or ink. So I'm just I've got these. I picked up a set of 6 of these guys right here. So I've got one posed up over here, which you can kind of see in the video on the right, next to my shoulder there. But one thing I want to improve is just kind of drawing more invented poses. Bring in kind of the things that I do really understand about anatomy and gesture, and try to do a better job kind of designing poses and amping up their motion and things like that to be a better character designer / artist. And again, I was thinking about doing a comic as well, so that's really helpful for that. So I don't have to like photograph a bunch of art models necessarily, but that can be helpful too. We're going to drop my that was funny. I had a bunch of like Lithuanian artists in here a while back. I'm not sure where they went off to. They were excited because I speak their lingua, Lithuanian. I don't remember which. I think they were on Twitch or something, but then they all kind of disappeared. Get a lot of Brazilians for some reason too. I met Will Eisner once. He was doing like a traveling show of his Spirit originals, and it came to my university, and so he came up and did a lecture there, and went to that, and of course went up afterward to shake his hand. Well, that was a very, very long time ago. When I was a freshman, so it'd have been like the late 90s, like 96, 97. Yeah, so I got to meet him once. So, but again, that was very, very long time ago. That was fun, getting to do that. Checking out his comic. We're going into the Brim Hall building, which is where the display was at, and Yeah, but not happy about the current the current allergy season popping up. Hopefully, it won't last more than a few weeks. It's the tree pollen, I think, that's out right now, and how to continue drawing, like drawing. What are you trying to draw, for example? That's always helpful. Um, like like figure drawing or perspective or animals, or what are we talking about here? Drawing people. Well, again, there's questions about style or approaches you're trying to deal with. I'd say understanding the underlying structure. So like the major landmarks, some of the proportions that are really helpful. And again, this part of this depends on style, right? So if you're trying to draw more realistically or stylistically, or somewhere in between, that can make a big difference. When I've taught figure drawing, though, I teach to a specific process where we can learn to perceive the underlying armature, and that's basically a stick figure. So connecting, say, the shoulder to shoulder line right here, and then it's called the greater trochanter, which is a bump on your femur, and connecting those together, seeing what that underlying angle is between the two, and then using those to kind of find the joints. So the patella, the ankle, the olecranon, which is your elbow sticking out. It's the big bump on your ulna bone in your arm. And so connecting all these dots together kind of helps you see the underlying structure, and you can kind of connect the dots that way really easily. So that's one of the big things. There's also proportions. So like that greater trochanter spot I mentioned, which is right here and here, this is kind of basically the halfway point on standard people. And obviously in comics or concept art and other things, people will make that bigger or smaller, but that's really helpful. It's just kind of be able to see that halfway point in a standing figure. So if armature might look something like, no wait, that's not even visible down here. How about down here? There's the head. So there's kind of the armature figure right here. And so this point right here is the halfway point on the figure, and then you've got the head, And then the rib cage. And the rib cage from the front is two of these heads tall and two wide, and then the pelvis is two wide, one tall, and they're all about one deep on the skeleton. So from the side, they kind of look like this, where they're all about the same depth. Even though some are taller than the others. So just kind of being able to see those general proportions helps a lot. There's a lot more than that, but that's like a really basic place, is just being able to cite those joints and their relationship to each other, and then the general proportions of the overall head, torso, and pelvis. And so kind of being able to map those out helps me when I'm trying to figure out how to put together my drawings. Alright, let's get out the F pencils. I was having a hard time loading some fresh F lead into my pencil here. They had like these weird like plastic sheets that were on them, like these little tiny like little nubs that were on the different parts of the pencil lead that I had to pull off. Alright, what are we going to wear for an outfit here, though? Should probably figure that out, right? I'll go over to the urban fashion. Also helps to have a dog under your foot. You can see a picture if you go over to my Rainland Studios Instagram stories. He's wrapped up under a blanket under my feet. So, but those are some kind of basic tips that I think are helpful. And working from the live modeling class, we spent a lot of time kind of pointing out where all these things are. I have like a laser pointer. I'll point at the model and get that all set up, which helps, I think. Reminds you of Avatar, huh? Like which one? The James Cameron or the cartoon? Cartoon. I don't know. Yeah, I've watched that series a long time ago. That's good. I couldn't get into the Korra thing, and she was just annoying. I think I watched like 5 or 6 episodes. Gave it a go, and oh yeah, the comics. Never read. Is there a comic book for Avatar Airbender stuff? Yeah, I didn't know there was a comic. I just saw the show. Yeah, but anyway, my goals here is to kind of just improve my character sketching skills. So I think it's definitely better than it was, a year ago. Um, Again, as far as imaginative stuff, I've mostly focused on, you know, environments and things like that, which still feel pretty good about. But this can be a lot better, I think, than where it's at now. Oh, look, we got our first spammer in here. Seems like most of those come from Twitch or sometimes from Kick too. Um, just the fake. How are we doing for time? 41? All right, not too bad. Is that my OC? Well, I'm just I sketched a pose, and then I'm just looking at some kind of a reference board of outfits. I do have characters and things I'm working on for that concept project and the story. So there's like three main characters for it. There's what I call the guide, and so there's the girl. She's this guide that takes people out into these forbidden zones on this planet that humans have settled on. And then there's the bureaucrat, or the dad, and he's being taken out for this trip. And then there's his daughter, and I need to come up with proper names for all of them, but so I've been working on them. And again, character design wasn't one of my main focuses until recently, so I've been kind of indecisive about certain aspects of it, but I think I'm finally coming to some conclusions so I can kind of move forward. So all the environment stuff and creatures, and that's been relatively easy for me because I've done a lot of that. But that's a different sketchbook. This is kind of my warm-up session first thing in the morning. I've been studying different topics, so again lately it's just been focusing on the figures and characters, figure drawing, and then some master copies and things like that. Trying to get better at invented figures, so looking where maybe there's something I don't understand out of my head as well. So even though these models I'm using right here, these little figurines, are really good, they don't have everything on there obviously, and they're not going to bend perfectly. So I'm trying to think about what I know about leg anatomy. The rectus femoris, vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, the tibia, the femur sticking out here, tibia coming down, and then how to draw it in a way that I don't overdraw it, which tends to be one of my major mistakes is I tend to overdraw things, just because I know what's there, so I tend to kind of over emphasize it rather than simplify it. Should be a better option a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. But so those are some things I'm trying to kind of resolve for myself with these morning studies, especially. Because because I want there's a couple of criteria. So I'm thinking about it being kind of distant future on this settled planet. They've been there a while, so they're gonna have their own culture to a certain degree. The technology is different because of the where they're at, and then some of the cultural differences they're going to have, possibly some of the changes maybe would have gone on with race. So maybe they would have started out on their colony ship as a variety of different races depending on which part of the world they came from. But how would that have changed over time? If they're on this colony ship, this generational colony ship, and then settled on this planet. What effects that might have. And then what's the other thing? And then of course where they're living. So the planet they settled on, working title is Bramble for the project, but it's basically a planet when they get there, and it looks like it's a giant tangle of plants. Like you take like a ball of vines and thistles, and you kind of weave them all together. And that's kind of what the planet looks like. I had some earlier drawings where it kind of looked more like a tree. But I'm really thinking more of like being this giant tangle. Anyway, there's evidence on this planet that there's been prior civilization that lived there, but they're no longer there. And there's no like biological evidence of them, and there's just artifacts that have been left behind. And so they settle there, and the guide here that I was talking about, not necessarily her, but the character I'm working on, she is one of the people that takes people out to these parks or reserves where some of these artifacts can be seen in a different set of conditions than, say, they're available where the humans are settled at. And you're not supposed to, so it's kind of an illegal trip. Anyway, so she takes this father and daughter out, and they run into some problems out there checking stuff out. So I need to go through it and kind of update my script. I've written like a rough single shot set of storyboards per major beat, so I need to kind of go through and update some of that, and then I can start working on it. But in terms of drawing smooth, it helps to have that underlying drawing, right? So I have this messy drawing I put underneath to help me kind of build out the structure, so I know how things kind of fit on there. Well, that's what I was talking about. So I have this story I've written up for this concept project, and so I've got a comic I want to do about it. Excuse me. Ever since allergies popped up, I've been pretty drippy. But, oop, hey Bosh. Dog just stood up. I just need to go look out the window or something. He's just adjusting his spot. I'm just gonna go check out the window. Yeah, so I've kind of done like I put together like a script and a general layout, and then from that I've been working on the characters and things that I need for it. So it's like I need a kind of a flying ship. I need let me put some white on here, and maybe I'll grab the other sketchbook that has the stuff I'm working on in it. I can share that. Got my little deleter white out here, white number 2. Just what the toned paper is for, so I can come in and put some little highlights on here. What's it called? But anyway, yeah, so this is the whiteouts for it. So I like to work on the brown paper so we can put the white on top of it. But, so. Yeah, so I've been putting together some images of story beats. I've never really done comics. I played around with it when I was, a teenager, of course. Back when Image Comics was launching, and Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld, and which reminds me, did everybody see that Rob Liefeld is starting to release a new Youngblood material? Apparently, you can get some signed copies for like $60 or something on his some store he's put up online on Whatnot. But the white looks good on the brown paper. It's a nice way of kind of popping out the highlights. Knock this white out back down. Yeah, but definitely thought about it. I think I'd be interested in that. I'm going to grab the other book. I think this drawing is done. Put the date on here, and then it's just going to be on for a few more minutes anyway. I like to do a little quick warm-up in the morning. A little bit late to it, but 25:03:07. So I'll put the little action figure away. Oops, fell down. But yeah, I'm gonna grab the other book. So there's my other sketchbook. I can pull back on this a little bit. So there's a little drawing I did in there. I appreciate that. So I've been working on sketches in here. Let me pull back to the front page here. So I was thinking about this initially, and I was like, it's too generic. I like the scary tree stuff though, over here. Again, some of these creatures I've been designing, so I put this in here in this little ink drawing. I think it's just a little too generic for what I'm looking for. And it's just the sketchbook here. So this is the bureaucrat father guy. There's the daughter. So it's just playing around with their scale approaches. I was playing around with some costume silhouettes. So I want something baroque-ish about things, but also futuristic, and so I pulled these off of this over here, and then just flip it around backwards to get the back view of things. But a bunch of faces, just trying out some hairstyles and things. And then this drawing right here, which is one I started with. And so part of it is like she's not. So they all have like their own things going on. So, he's not really there for what he says he's there for. There's something up with her, the little girl, and then she does not see things well, and she's got her own kind of deceptive things that she's working on. So I was playing around with some ship design. So I was thinking about the word sliver, kind of plant word type things like sliver, weeds, those thistles. Kind of base things around. Thinking about the city that they're living in. So again, it's like a giant tangle of plants. So what if they were living in kind of a hollowed out root or thistle or plant or something like that? And they're kind of the buildings are attached to the walls of things. And then this was just the other night, a couple of days ago in the evening, working on this. So approaching one of the what I call totems, which is what these are, or this sort of thing is totem. This is just in the woods. This is an artifact, something like this maybe. But this is a mixture of using, I've got blue, red, but I've also been using, I saw a little technique-y thing that a guy named Nico Marlet does. Nicholas Marlet, or Marlet, as it's spelled. But he's a concept artist. He's working for DreamWorks for decades now, but he did all like design the dragons and Kung Fu Panda characters and all that. And he does this kind of mixture of color pencil and marker, like the alcohol markers, like these Prismacolors or Copic markers, and then ink usually on top of that. So I've been kind of experimenting using that gray marker a bit in here as an underlying effect. So you can see it kind of bleeding through, I guess, up here. Kind of see it bleeding through a little bit. But this is the current sketchbook, so I'm working on filling out. I really like this sketchbook. I want to do a little more watercolor in here because it can handle that. So maybe I should start playing around with this stuff to just do a little bit more watercolor with it. But that's kind of what I've been working on. But it is that like it's kind of I would call it a plant punk world. So they've kind of integrated. There's something about the local planet and the life, the build of the planet, the giant structures there, the tangle, the bramble, and there's ways of kind of manipulating that plant technology to build things or power things or develop the technology there that's not available on Earth. So I want something kind of built around that. So you look here, kind of like building into the plant, so they're kind of manipulating the plant to create buildings and structures. Because there's probably not a ton of natural resources in the sense of like rocks and things, because it looks like the planet's just basically made out of this tangle of plants. So, but it's a whole little project that I'm working on here. And but anyway, this is just kind of reflecting maybe how she sees things. So she's not mentally well. I think I want to have something maybe to do with the planet. Maybe she got exposed to something there that she shouldn't have been. Anyway, she has to take medication to kind of not see things like this. Yeah, but so, that's what I've been working on the side, just really filling this out. This is my second sketchbook. I filled up one already recently, and so I pulled this one out and been working on flushing this out. So, yeah, so that's what I've been working on. You can see more concept art if you go to my personal website, which is rainlandstudios.com. If I have a piece of paper, I'll write it out for you here. Well, a non-expensive piece of paper. Let's see, there's an envelope. But you go to Rainland Studios, and if you go to like the personal page, it kind of collects all of the. There we go. Here's my. I need to do this today. This is my tax forms. from my job. But yeah, so Rain Studios.com. If you go there, if you go to the personal page, you can see kind of some of the concept art I've done for it. So a lot of some digital painting and different programs, some explorations there that that I've been working on. But you can see it all kind of over there at Rainland Studios. So yeah, so that's kind of what I've been working on the side. It's been I've been a little bit slowed down this particular semester because I have to teach an extra class. We had a problem at the beginning of this semester that we did not properly anticipate, and I think I'm partially at fault for it. I had some questions, I had concerns that were not taken seriously, but I didn't dive too deep into them. They were just kind of on the surface. We had a teacher we hired briefly who was not reliable as a teacher, and so I had to end up picking up one of his classes. He had 3 classes, so we had to find cover for all of them, which was painful, and ended up picking up one of them. But it's kind of disrupted my plans for this semester a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to call it there. It's been an hour. Thanks to everybody that came in. I may be back on later today. We'll see. But we'll catch you all next time.